Good morning, beautiful people. It's bright and early here, very early, and I have no makeup on, and my hair is just crazy. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Sophia. You don't get to see Nancy Ray looking like this very often. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Stephanie. All my favorite beautiful peeps jumping on here. Hey, James. Hey, Dennis. It's very early where I am, and as you can hear, I have no voice. It's been an intense 24 hours. Hey, Spencer. Hey, Amanda. I have a story to share with you guys that it's a little bit fresh, so there's some intense emotion around it. And just now I had the inspiration to go live, and I thought, well, it's so fucking early, and you have no makeup on, and your smile has been asleep, so when you smile, it looks like craziness. And I had all these other things in my head. You could do it later, do it when you're ready for the day, do it when your makeup's on, do it when more people will be online, do it later. And this actually speaks to what happened these last 24 hours, and to why I'm fucking done. And, hey, Lindsay. Hey, you. Hey, Elise. Elise, baby. I'm talking about Grammy right now. And part of it, you guys, before I go into this story, that's kind of intense. Hey, Julie. On social media, oftentimes you get to see people looking pretty, looking organized. Obviously, why would you go live looking like this? Why would you go live inside of an intensity of an emotion? And there's a reason why I didn't go live yesterday. I created some much needed space for myself to heal through some things that are intense. And hey, Tyree. Hey, Steven. In that vein, I was looking at some pictures yesterday. I'll get to that in a minute. But I was looking through some pictures of my time on this trip with my family, and there's some really cute ones, right? Posed pictures of me and my family. And then there was a few where you can see my 1-year-old like arching his back, throwing a huge tantrum, like screaming his head off. And we're like trying to hold him up in the picture, right? And I was just thinking how often we share the other candid photos and the message that can sometimes send to people, right? This is a discussion that happens all the time online, but just that everything's beautiful all the time. And it's beautiful because it looks perfect. And I think it's time for us to see that life is beautiful because it is imperfect. So you guys, I've had an inspiration. So first of all, let me back up. I have a lot of grandparents because my dad's parents were divorced, and so all of a sudden I got double the grandparents all the way back. You know how that works. And I lost one of my grandmothers transitioned earlier this year, and she was a remarkable woman. She really, really vibrant person, always lived full out. And my grandparents are still fairly young. They had kids young, and so they're fairly young. And then I have another grandma. I call her my crazy grandma. She's very, very much like me. Very honest, very blunt, hilarious as hell, unapologetic for who she is. People just love and adore her because she is so real. You don't ever wonder where you stand with her. She's kind. She has the biggest heart on the planet. Just absolutely an incredible woman. And a woman that I've never had to explain myself to. Ever. And never had expectations on me for my life or how I lived my life. Just simply held this space for me to just be me and explore completely authentically. I've had a pretty close relationship with her, and on this adventure, my plan was to send her postcards at every stop and to call her. I try to call her at least once a month and just check in and have a conversation and see how she's going. And when I'm in town, I would stop in and visit with her and see her. Well, I've had this inspiration, you guys, and I'm sure a lot of you know where this is going, for the past 2 weeks to call Grammy. Call Grammy, call Grammy, call Grammy. And been too busy, you know? And the excuses that we use for not following our intuition range from mostly lack, right? Mostly fear-based. Well, people think there's not enough time, and there's not enough money. And I've been feeling called to kick this time pattern in the ass. I've made some big shifts there, but there's still more opportunity for really moving into an abundance of time, where I have an abundance of time to play with my babies and build my business and be with my husband and relax, right? Take a bath, read a book, be more present. Well, I had this inspiration and I have it written. You can see I have a organizer in my office that shows the dates and what are my core focuses for the day. And I made one of my core focuses on Wednesday, October 11th, to call my grandma, because I've been thinking about it for a long time. Call Grammy. And I was too busy. I just didn't have enough time. And I just thought, I can call her tomorrow. Usually when I talk to my grandma, it's at least a 30-minute conversation. I don't have time. I will call her tomorrow. 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, I got a phone call from my dad, because it's his mom. And I could tell in his voice something was serious. Oh, my hair is adorable, you guys. I just woke up, obviously. And he said, no, this call might not be unexpected. And I knew, because I'd been getting the intuitive hit for weeks. And I got the intuitive hit last time I saw her that it might be the last time. My grandma was not sick. My grandma was only 72. She could have had 10 years left, so this was very unexpected. And the minute he said, I said, it's Grandma Jenny, isn't it? And I just collapsed. I just collapsed on the floor. And I said, fuck. I said, I knew I was supposed to call her. I knew it. I said, what happened? When did it happen? He said, 30 minutes ago. Her body just stopped processing oxygen. I didn't know that was even a thing. And she went from feeling fluish in the morning to being dead in just a matter of hours. And I don't regret not calling her. And that sounds crazy. It does me no good to regret that. No good at all. Our intuition is so powerful. And it is so aware. And it knew my Grammy was going to die. I knew it. But I was too busy. There wasn't enough time. That fucking sucks. Do I need one more talk with my Grammy? Nah. I already have had a few, right? She's not gone. I feel her more than ever. That's crazy. And for those of you who've lost people, not lost people, had people transition already, you know what I'm talking about. But there always is that, I want one more hug. I want one more conversation. I want one more whatever. And my intuition wanted to give that to me. My intuition wanted to give me the gift of one more beautiful conversation with her, one more closure, feeling of connection. Your intuition is not your enemy, you guys. It loves you completely. And sometimes it asks you to do things that don't make sense, that are scary, that go against your fears, fear of what people will think. Like the intuition to get on early in the morning with no voice and bedhead and no makeup on. Not really my jam, not really my preference, right? But someone on here wanted this message and needed this message, and my intuition knew that. And regardless of me thinking nobody gets on this early, or what are people going to think? You're not wearing makeup? They're going to be like, oh, wow. You know what they're going to think? They're going to think she's a fucking human. She has pores on her skin like everybody else. And that might be the greatest gift of this video. I love my Grammy so, so much. And I'm excited to travel home and have her life celebration and connect with my family. And, man, my nose is running too. That's so sexy, right? I'd love to be really raw and real when I talk about how I process passing or transitioning now to where I used to process it. It's just different. And I want to be really authentic with that. I see it differently. I feel it emotionally differently. There's still sorrow, of course. There's still pain and all of that. But there's a newfound level of peace. And this is what I want you to hear, everybody who's on here. It doesn't come, this peace does not come, because somebody in a black suit and tie told me what the plan is for after we leave this life. That's not where peace comes from. Peace does not come from going into a building with brick walls and having people stand on a pedestal and tell you that there's a life after this, and tell you what God thinks, and tell you what to do to be together with your family forever. That's not where peace comes from. Peace comes from an internal condition and connection to source energy. Call it God, call it Goddess, call it Heavenly Father, call it Heavenly Mother, call it Source, call it love, call it light, call it whatever the fuck you want. But I want all of you right now to get really fucking clear that what creates peace in your life is not religion. It's spirituality. Religion can be a beautiful place sometimes to go and live out your spirituality, to connect with people. But it is not the source of your peace. It is not the source of your clarity. It's not. I have peace about my Grammy passing because I feel so connected to her, and that we're all one, and that we never die. Do I know exactly what happens next? No. I used to think I knew, and when I thought I knew, I thought that gave me power or peace. It didn't. It was a mask to not be vulnerable and really fill it out for myself. I know she's still alive. Why do I know that? A spirit with that level of potency and badassery that she had, you couldn't kill it even if you tried. Her physical body expired, that's it. For those of you who stayed on and listened to this full message, thank you. I truly felt inspired to get on here and share it with you guys. The cost of not following your inspiration is really, really high. And there are blocks to why you don't. Me sitting here and saying, follow your intuition. It's not going to work. It's going to encourage you to pay more attention and hopefully then be able to hear it. But if you have blocks, if you're operating in lack of time, lack of money, lack of worthiness, if you are distracted by all these external conditions that you have no internal clarity, you miss it. How do I know this? Your inspiration's talking to you all day long, every day. Mine has been telling me for 2 weeks, call Grammy, call Grammy, call Grammy. And it finally got really, really loud on Wednesday. Loud enough that I wrote it on the list to be sure it happened. And then my bullshit belief system and past pattern of lack of time snuck in. And I didn't do it. It's intense. That said, I love you all so much. Please share this out. Please share this message. Tag, personal message somebody. I know I was meant to get on here this morning, looking in all my glory, looking so fabulous, tired, with no voice. I love you all. Follow your intuition. And more importantly than that, get rid of the blocks and the bullshit stories that are keeping you from really, really operating out of it at a whole nother level.